What if I told you that there's a better weapon than a ray gun or the Ray K in Call of Duty Cold War? And I've went over this weapon multiple times in multiple different videos, but today I will be going over a certain combination with this weapon that'll make your life so much easier to potentially hide around in Outbreak or even normal zombies like Firebase Z and D Machina. Thank you all so much for nearly hitting 14,000 subscribers. You're all amazing, and also be sure to drop a like on the video as that does help out the channel and the video itself. Now, something I haven't actually advertised in a while is our Discord server, so if you're curious to maybe find people to play with, have some questions, or just want to hang out, be sure to join it. The link is down in the description. We're nearly at 500 members and it would be amazing if we could push that. It would very much help out the server itself. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the weapon I'm talking about is of course the HAUER 77, and I know that multiple people already know that this weapon is extremely powerful, but I'll still go over some of the attachments and as to why you should use them on this certain weapon. Now, I don't use any optic or muzzle as I feel like they aren't very much needed, especially since a shotgun you can run around hip firing and the muzzle doesn't really add on much like the other attachments. So for the barrel I use a 25.2 inch task force. The reason I use this is because it does improve the firepower and the speed of the weapon, but with the firepower it does increase 50% of the damage that the shotgun deals. Now, you will be decreasing the effective damage range, but don't worry, we will be taking care of those with the other attachments that we'll get into. Now, for the body, I always recommended people to use the Tiger Team Spotlight, but I decided to test out something new, and I'm recommending the Ember sighting point. Now, this will increase your hipfire accuracy, which is very good because you will most likely be hipfire most of the time, and it will be increasing the amount of salvage you will be receiving. And if you don't know, the main thing with Call of Duty Cold War, and especially your own weapons, is you should definitely be concentrating on leveling up your armor and the of the weapons, because that's what in the end of the day is really important, pack-a-punching and leveling up of your weapons, because if you don't take care of that, the weapons won't be dealing a lot of damage. So you definitely want to have an increased amount of salvage that you will be getting on in the earlier rounds to have it as high as possible as soon as possible. For the magazine, I recommend using the Stanag 8 round tube. Now, this will be decreasing your reload speed, but don't worry, with like Speed Cola you can definitely take care of that with absolute ease. But it's the other bits that are amazing with this. It does increase 60% of your magazine ammo capacity, 60% of your max starting ammo, and 60% of your ammo capacity itself, which is very good because what I feel like the HAUER does suffer with is the fact that sometimes it doesn't have actually a lot of ammunition, and especially if you find it around the maps, doesn't tend to have a lot of ammo, so you're definitely better off spawning in with this weapon and definitely the Stanag 8 round tube. For the handle, I recommend using the airborne elastic wrap. Now, this will be decreasing your shooting move speed and your sprint to fire time, but it will be again increasing your aim down sight time, 90% of your flinch resistance, and you'll be, I guess, able to aim while being prone, but let's be honest, nobody really does that in zombies. And for the last attachment, which is the stock, I recommend using the marathon pad. Now, I don't know if you're noticing a certain pattern, but it's usually the later down attachments that are the best. Now, it's kind of a shame that Treyarch did this, where it isn't any kind of attachment combination that can make the gun really good. It's just the fact that if you combine all of these in a certain way, it will be extremely powerful, and from what I know, this is the method to use. But for the marathon pad, it will be increasing a bunch of stuff: your sprinting move speed, shooting move speed, sprint to fire time, and walking and aiming in movement speed. Attachments aside, we need to get into what you will need to upgrade to make this as amazing as possible. If you don't know, with season 2 we got the addition of additional tier upgrades for your weapons, your perks, field upgrades, and ammo mods. So for the first thing that I definitely recommend for you to level up to level 5 is the shotgun class. Now, what this will do is with level 4 and 5, it will increase close quarters bonus damage to 25%, and with level 5, it will increase critical bonus damage also by 25%. Now, this is a huge change from what we've seen in before, because previously the other upgrades just added on 10%, while this will be increasing it up to 25. And if you're really close up to certain zombies, like let's say you're close up to a mangler, there's a possibility of destroying him in seconds if you aim at his hand. If you didn't know, the mangler's weak spot is actually his shooting hand, which is the big kind of cannon he has on his, I do believe it's the right hand. So if you shoot that, you will be able to take him down in seconds at the earlier rounds. For the field upgrade, I know that there's a lot of people that opt to use the Ether Shroud, but for this specific thing, you're definitely better off using the Ring of Fire. Now, you won't have to use it a lot because the HAUER is such a powerful shotgun that when I was trying to get some gameplay for this, and I got up to like round 12 before I got unfortunately kicked out of the game, I found out that the Ring of Fire wasn't something I used a lot. So you will be able to opt out for the Ether Shroud, but let's say if you're a person that really just requires some kind of additional amount of power, and if you're planning to go up to insane rounds in some of the game modes, Ring of Fire is the way to go. Now that is mainly for its level 5 upgrade now, which will increase the ring's duration. So the possibility of having the ring itself for a very long time now is amazing, because all you have to do is be sure to be killing the zombies. But also with the Ether Shroud upgrades, you will have the possibility of having not only 2 charges but also run an increased and amazing speeds that it will get you from point A to point B in absolutely no time with the combination of stamina up. It's amazing, but I definitely recommend Ring of Fire, but it's kind of a 50-50 situation for you to decide what you play better with. Do you prefer something that will get you out of situations, or do you prefer something that will just increase your damage to kill more zombies faster? Now for perks, I feel like this one is actually very important. Now if you didn't know, Quick Revive is probably one of the best perks to have right now, and that is because with the level 5 upgrade, you have the possibility of reviving yourself without the use of Tombstone or even a self revive, because killing an enemy while downed will revive you and remove the perk itself, but you will be back up. The perks that I definitely recommend for you to be concentrating as soon as possible on to upgrade or even run in the game are Juggernog for obvious reasons, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, and Elemental Pop. Now Elemental Pop, in my opinion, feels like a very necessary thing to use, and that is again for its level 5 upgrade, which will basically give you an effect like Electric Cherry. What this does is every single time you will be reloading your weapon, there will be a burst of electricity that could potentially stun nearby zombies. Now the thing with this is because it's very different from Electric Cherry, as Electric Cherry in the past used to behave in a way of always dealing the same amount of damage or stunning the same amount of zombies every single time you reloaded, no matter the amount of ammo you have. Whereas now you kind of need to have a smaller amount of ammunition to be able to use this perk effect as effective as possible. So one thing I can recommend is don't concentrate on your reloading as much, even though the HAUER shotgun does have the slower amount of reloading unless you run around with Speed Cola, but those are mainly the perks that I recommend: Jug, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, and Elemental Pop. But if you have the potential of getting all of them, definitely upgrade all of your perks and definitely run them. I'm not saying these are the only perks you should use, since there is no perk limit. There is no really crazy thing to not run any of these perks, but those are the first you should definitely concentrate on at the beginning of any kind of game you're playing. The thing that puts a cherry on top of all of this, making this a nearly wonder weapon like gun, is Dead Wire. If you don't know, Dead Wire with tier 5 upgrade makes it very overpowered, and that is because it has potential of killing and stunning a ridiculous amount of zombies. See, with all of the upgrades combined on Dead Wire, it does say that it will stun up to 5 zombies, but considering how it behaved in the past, it could be 6 or 7 zombies altogether, but I think it's even more. See, if you play on a small map like Die Maschine or Firebase Z and you have a large amount of zombies around and you shoot this gun with the 30-second cooldown being over, there's a potential that not only your bullets that you shoot at them will kill the zombies, but also stun so many around you that you won't have to worry about taking out as many as possible. And what even makes this better is the combination of the Elemental Pop 5 upgrade, which will stun the zombies additionally to that and potentially even kill them. Dead Wire is an ammo mod that will get you out of some ridiculous situations and fly through the rounds like no other gun would on the earlier stages. Now, another thing I can definitely recommend is for you to upgrade all of your ammo mods, because with Elemental Pop, when you use it, there's a very random chance that you might, let's say, get Napalm Burst, Cryo Freeze, Brain Rot, or Shatter Blast, which will definitely help out. And if you have leveled up to level 5, it'll just make them so much more powerful, and everything combined together with these upgrades, with this combination in game, makes it super powerful. And I can see people getting up to insane rounds in Outbreak, not using the ray gun, not using the ray K, but using this HAUER shotgun, because it's just so ridiculously overpowered, and it's always been this powerful ever since launch. But it's just the fact that all of these things now with the level 5 upgrades just merge together and make it so much more stronger and so much more powerful to use in games, to high round, to complete your Easter eggs, complete your challenges. It'll just change the way you play zombies, and I hope they don't change this, because this is definitely going to continue being one of my favorite weapons in this game aside from the wonder weapons. zombies. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be running the ray K or the ray gun itself, as if you for example play the Machiner or Outbreak, definitely try to get the ray gun, because with the quick revive upgrades, it'll be definitely easier to kill zombies when you're knocked with a ray gun than it would be with a normal M19 pistol. Now you could potentially pack a punch a pistol to level 5, and there's a possibility that whenever you get knocked, it will always be the thing that you will be using on those zombies, but the higher you go up, the harder it will be to kill them, and that's actually sometimes what does get me in the end. So don't always rely on quick revive. It's a really nice alternative compared to the ones that we had in the past, where at the beginning it was just self revive and then it was tombstone, but now we have 3, which is absolutely insane. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry if it was long because I just tried to tap into everything, explain everything as much detail as I could, be sure to subscribe and be sure to like the video, and again join the Discord, very much appreciated if you could, and also be sure to follow my Twitter account, it will be linked down in the description. But without further ado guys, hope you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.